play any other key
Yeah.
apart from C major?
Okay, I'll try.
Now, this is where it gets important, that you need, if you play like this, then that's how possibly you're approaching your pieces. And all the sound is squashed, right? So, to play, it's really important to keep your fingers and hands up and over the keys. So, can you play up and over the keys? Just 2 octaves will be fine. Yes, stop. Now, can you see where your body is?
Yep.
Right. You need to know. Your body needs to travel with you when you're playing the scale. Because you're going to have to do that with these pieces as well. All right. Once again. Travel with the scale. Yeah, you actually need to know the scale very well. And the reason why, the reason why I'm saying that is, an E major is a key that is fantastic to practice, to have in your fingers. Every single one of my students plays E major as well as all the others. Because it's very symmetric. Now, when you have that in your fingers, then you can do what did I just do? Crescendo and diminuendo. But first, 1 octave, so that you have to make a very sudden crescendo, just like here, and a sudden diminuendo. And that does take practice. So, could you play 1 octave of E major? Just 1 octave. Sit in the middle. Make sure you actually put your fingers on the keys before you sat down. So make sure you're sitting, and now go to the piano, yes, right, and play 1 octave, just normal. Just normal, just play normally. Right, and now separate all these fingers. Because you need that for this piece, because haven't you got scales? Certainly in the right hand, you've got all those scales in the right hand, and lots of Alberti type bass in the left. But in other pieces, I'm sure you'll have scales. So, since the scales in the right hand, just play. Ready and. Yes, now could you make sure that you really articulate every key? Listen. Right, the idea is that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 13, 14, 15 sounds, although you're playing them with different fingers, are all going to be at the same level. That's a practice. Ready? Right. Once again. Keep your hand up and over the keys. Ready? Again. What are you listening for? What do you want me to hear? You've got to know so that you can do it.
Even and precise sounds, as in clear and nice.
So that every sound, even though they're different fingers and different, put your hand up like this. See, your mum and dad didn't pray to God like mine didn't. And say, please God, my daughter's going to be a pianist. Please could you make all the fingers the same length? See, we're just not that lucky. And so we have to, it takes practice to listen for and give the same amount of energy from each finger to have an even sound, because we need that in this piece. Ready? Right, and now play it at 1 level less sound, less energy than that. slower. And even softer. And teach it a bit louder, a little bit. So that you're feeling the energy change. A little bit more. A little bit more. Use your fingers, don't push with the hand. Again, and a bit louder than that. A bit louder than that. And a bit louder than that. Right. Wow. What a difference. Look what you've got at your disposal with 5 fingers and these keys, which, I mean, most pianos are capable of making more sound. So that now when you want to play even just that first section at the tempo that you're playing, you're capable of changing the sound. Let's just hear that, then we have to stop. Okay, what's the level here? What's the dynamic? Piano. And you immediately. Right, so what you want to play. Just that. And that takes skill. Ready? And no right, no left hand. Right. And if I copy you, I go. Is that what you wanted? Ah, well, when you're practicing, Schumann used to say, whenever you're practicing, you've heard of Schumann?
Yep.
Robert Schumann, composer, he said, whenever you're practicing, practice as if there is a master in the room. So, you think of practicing as if Beethoven's there to hear you, right? And then, don't be satisfied with that. It may happen, but then we want that clarity to be absolutely precise. Could you do that? Ready? And no, here. Don't look at the music. Think about what you're doing with your fingers. Good. And the idea is that the faster the notes, the softer the sound. The faster the notes, the softer you speak. Or the faster the notes, the softer you play. The lighter the touch. Ready? And yes. And then you emulate that for this and this and this, except this has a sforzando. So there are many, many little bits to do, aren't there? And hands separately and little bits to practice. You know what tongue twisters are? She sells seashells on the seashore. Yeah, so I've made up one for this sort of thing. Like the faster the words, the softer you speak. Can we all say that? The faster the words, the softer you speak. The faster the words, the softer you speak. The faster the words, the softer you speak. Just the same way as if you're running, you don't. Oh, 3-year-olds, watch a 3-year-old run fast, and they stamp their feet into the ground because they don't know any different. But if we're running, then the faster we want to run, the lighter. So if we want to play faster, the faster the notes, the lighter the touch. Let's say, the faster the notes, the lighter the touch. The faster the notes, the lighter the touch. The faster the notes, the lighter. Right? So if you want to play really fast, right, then you have to lighten the touch a little. All right? Okay, well, I hope that's given you something to think about. Thank you, Noah. Good. I'm sure have any of you had a masterclass, so-called masterclass before? Had guest teachers? Because I think what I'm doing is very different to what other people, a lot of other people go right through the whole piece from beginning to end. I'd much rather give you strategies. Is that all right? Strategies that you can take home and work on. Crikeys. Let's have the Scarlatti Sonata. Do you have the music here, please?
No.
Oh.
Okay. Where is it? It's in your
Yeah. Well, while we're waiting for that, let's have, if you sit down, we'll have maybe the Sonny Chua piece. That is Gabriel.
Yes.
Gabriel.
Yeah.
Good. progress. It's good to know that. Okay, thank you. Do you know who Sonny is?
Yes.
Has he been out here to the school?
No.
Oh, you should invite him. Although he's full time at Melbourne High, but he's great in giving piano workshops and things like that. Good, and especially with his own music, if anyone else plays it. Now, this sonatina has very special connotations. Do you know why? Because we commissioned this, the VMTA, Victoria Music Teachers Association, actually commissioned this for a big birthday celebration. So this is what he came up with, the three movements. So let's hear it, the first movement. Not had this very long?
Yeah, like a few months, but it's not up to performance yet at all.
What would you like to improve? Apart from knowing the last page a bit better, or what would you still like to improve so that you could record it on a CD and sell it in the shops to buy with Sonny's recording?
Well, I think when I perform it, I play it faster. Like I play it up, not quite up to speed, but more up to speed, and like I don't completely have the notes secure. Some in some bars, some sections.
So what do you do in your practice time, like yesterday, the day before? How did you approach this?
Learn the bars.
That's good. So you don't start from the beginning every day. No, excellent. So you I don't see. Is this the copy you practice from?
Yes.
Okay. Can I suggest you have a pencil on the piano? Maybe you
I
have
do.
two different colours, and apart from what your teacher writes on here, that you actually write things. Things like putting asterisks in the margin of places, because it's great to have visual cues and starting off points. Now you've got this faster rhythm and the exciting secco dry rhythm really coming together very, very well. What I'd like to just address for a few minutes are the chords, actually, because I see a lot of tension, and you don't need to. And if you think of these, as have you ever played that tang-tang? The tang-tang is the big one at the back. Now, if you just think, and if you think of, is there a stick? Yeah, if you think of that gong, and with one of the big soft, this one.
Yeah.
This one. And you go. And to let it ring. But you will never see a good percussionist going. Right, because they have lots of space. I love watching the professional percussion players, especially when they've got those big cymbals there, because they always go. They always go. And they let it ring and hold it so that you hear the sound. The other thing is, the ones who play the timpanis, you've got timpanis?
In the cupboards.
In the cupboard, okay. When they've got their two timpani, whenever they're getting ready, they're watching their music like this, and then they go. They always do that to get their sleeves up. You watch them, they always do that. And just before they're playing, they go. And there's always that beautiful getting ready. Now, you can adopt that same getting ready and that same kind of, have I put in the right place? Same getting ready to do that and have lots of air and space and freedom. So just stand up for a moment, because that's what this fanfare is, incorporates all those kind of, and instead of this pushing down, think of lots of rhythm. Just practice that. And just as you get to the key, you want to grab the key, but not pushing. So this is a practice. So when you start, you put the pedal down and let knowing Sonny as well as I do, he would approve of that, to have not. See, if he wanted that sound and wanted that sort of kind of sound that you get with, sometimes with Cacciaturian, a really bitey sound, then you want to. Quite different to this, which is a beautiful, open, like bells, St. Paul's Cathedral, St. Patrick's Cathedral, where they ring the bell. So, could you just try that and just let your hands stone, it'll just go boom. But when you hear that water just drip, boom, and then it sends ripples out, that's the kind of sound that you want, those sound waves. Ready? Keep upright. Got a beautiful, beautiful posture there. Don't change it. Put the pedal down and let's have doing. And then practice one bar, then practice another bar without looking at the music. Once you know what you're doing. So, good, wonderful, thank you. Now the Scarlatti, and we'll have to be quick with Scarlatti. Can I have the music, please? Thank you. And you're playing from memory, so we'll put this down. Would you announce what you're playing?
I'm playing Sonata in D by Scarlatti.
You're going to play what?
Sonata.
Okay. suggest girls always, I was going to say boy, but it's gone. Can I suggest that whenever you're playing, that you never have your hair hanging down, the same way as if you're playing basketball or netball? Would you have your hair hanging down? No, because you just don't do that. There's certain way of certain equipment, certain clothes you have to wear, certain footwear, and for playing piano, my suggestion is that you always have your hair tied, the same way as you don't have long nails, because it doesn't work. I see so many girls doing this, and boys doing this, before they sit down to play. That means that your concentration is not on the music. Now, I saw that when you finished, you did something a little strange with your hands. I'm not quite sure what you did, but could you just play the last bar and finish the piece? No, but don't look at me. I want you to finish the piece. Finish the piece so that where does the music end? Show me on the pen. Well, I don't think so. Ivy, it's Ivy's name? Yeah, Ivy's pointing to the note. I don't think the music ends there at all. I actually think the music ends here. It's beyond the page. Now, that note happens to have how many counts? It's 3 in the context of this music, of this tempo. But then there's also what's on the bar. What's that time? And that doesn't mean that you hold the note, because it's not actually on the note. It's actually on the bar line. And that means in Baroque music that you just take it easy towards the end. You can just slow a little bit of a ritornello towards the end. That's usually what that fermata means. Okay, now, so I wanted you just to end the piece properly and finish it. Now, the endings of pieces are just as important as the beginnings. Can I just stand up for a minute? So, this being on a bride piece, so this was about the tempo you play, and you ended with, and that's the end. When you have completed. When you're watching the news on television, do you see the news readers ever say, well, thank you for watching the news. Be watching at 10 o'clock for our late news to be presented by Peter Smith. No, they would not do anything to spoil until the camera's gone off. So the camera doesn't go off you until yet. And that's just good manners and respect for the music. Now, the feel, here I sing down to piece. Just the one aspect that I'd like to point out, because you obviously know the notes. There were a few wrong notes here and there, I'm sure you know that. But if I was talking to you like this, and I talked to all the girls, most of the time, and I was sharing all sorts of ideas with you, and I won't, take away all sorts of ideas that maybe you can talk about after that. So what's wrong with the way I'm talking? Somebody else, what's wrong? I'm happy you're laughing. What?
You keep going softer and louder.
Okay, going softer and louder, which means that you're not understanding every word that I'm not articulating. The one thing that you need to do is to practice this a little bit slower, with more clarity, so that every single note is the same length. Every single semiquaver is the same length. Could you just play from the left hand from here? Just this bar up to there, that's all. Ready, and. Right. Now, this note almost disappeared. So you need